I am now.
You are now, righto. You're recording now?
Yeah.
So you press record. So
Yep.
we're on?
Yep.
Alright, thanks Bill. Are you sure?
Yep.
Right, good on you Bill, good job. Right. So, that kit, so this is our major trauma kit. We're going to find this in the trailer, on your grab bag, and there's going to be a kit in the first aid room as well? Yeah. So, that little kit. So that's for our major trauma stuff. So if a limb's been bitten off or there is an amazing amount of blood, which at the beach, the limb's been bitten off, it's going to be the problem. That's what we want. It's Cryovac mate, if you want to open that up. Essentially what we've got is a couple of these tourniquets and we've got an Elias bandage in there as well. It's all Cryovac pack. So it's all really cool. There's your two tourniquets, which are exactly the same as this one, which I'll open it up in a moment. And you've got two different size Elias bandages. These things are quite amazing. There's rules and instructions all over them, which you will never read because you panic because there's a lot of blood. So maybe have a look at those at some stage. I'm just going to open the small one. If I can work out how to do it, there's tear marks there. Now, what I will say with regards to these before I do open it, it is military. So these are basically designed for gunshot wounds and they're designed for through and through wounds. So that's part of it. But where that relates to us on the beach is a shark doesn't have teeth on just one jaw. So there'll be wounds all around the limb and that's where these things come in really handy. Open it up the top and pull it out. Leave the directions there so you can have a bit of a look at them afterwards. There's heaps of YouTube videos on these Elias bandages, so feel free to open them up. This is her. You'll notice, if you can see on this, there's a cup on that side. There's a little Velcro pin on this side. This side is your bandage. In here, you can actually pull this stuff that's inside it out there. We'll do that in a moment. So, if, for example, you had a wound just on one side of your arm, what you want to do is you want to place this so there's a wound there, Tony's bleeding, he's dying, don't die Tony. Reassure your patient, everything will be okay, don't die. This cup goes straight over the top of the wound like that, okay? And then you start winding this around and keep winding it around, and that cup is actually going to put pressure on it. As you unwind this bandage, there's Velcro bits on it, which will actually stop the bandage from unwinding. Sorry, I'm just going to move around there. Once you get towards the end, you've got this little clip here that just goes on the previous roll, like that, done. Yay, Tony didn't die, we win. Thanks for not dying, Tony.
Oh,
that was
so
all due
now
to our
there's
rituals.
and you can feel pressure. And do we need to keep pressure on that as well?
So what you will find, that little cup there is what actually provides the pressure onto it.
So get your hands free then.
Yeah, so how do you know that it isn't working? You see blood. Blood seeps through, blood comes through. So yeah, in which case then you go back over the top. Okay, you may, if...
Just with a normal bandage over the second time?
If you've got another Elias bandage there, go straight the same again, cup over the top, go right around. You'll be putting lots of pressure on there. If that doesn't work, you should also be thinking of above that, putting a tourniquet, if that still doesn't work. Just remembering too, that if you're still seeing blood out the top of this, and this has happened out in the water, and you're still seeing a significant amount of blood, he doesn't have much left. Yeah? So he's only got 6 litres. If you see it starting to pump out like that, okay, there's not a lot left. And so we don't get our Tony don't die scenario. Tony, do your job properly, please. Tony. All right. So that's. Now I'll just rip this off. Just talk quietly amongst yourselves while I've got
So now,
this.
with that then, would we see you guys?
Thank
And
you.
we also ask them to try and keep them or get their elevated.
You can do all your basic first aid stuff as well. This does not take the place of your basic first aid stuff. And that's probably the best thing to remember when you do all this sort of stuff. Don't forget your basic manoeuvres, okay?
That's the wound, yeah.
Yeah.
Cup on top.
So where this really comes into its own, this Elias bandage, is inside this pad. So basically what happened was that cut went over the top of the wound and we had this pad here. But where this bandage really comes into its own is, if I can work out which side to get into it, this side, you have another lot of packing inside there.
Yep.
Now, depending on the bandage, sometimes this has actually got some hematocrit stuff in there as well, which will actually stop clotting. So if Tony gets bitten on his arm, there's going to be wounds both sides. Yeah?
Yep.
So, what you do, pick which side's the worst side. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong, okay? But you just pick which side's the worst side, that goes on that side. That goes then on the other side. So now you've got padding on both sides, okay? So then you wrap it around like this and off you go. That was not a pretty job, but it doesn't matter because all we're trying to do is keep Tony from not dying. Tony, don't die.
I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good.
I'm feeling good.
So, and around and on that goes. And that's there. Now, how tight-wise, Tony, do you feel as though that's tight? You feel a bit of
Yeah,
tension down there
yeah.
and all that? That was with no effort. Yeah. So while this one's out now, like we can't use it on a real patient,
No.
but put it on each other and go it on yourself and feel how tight it actually goes because it's actually, that does a lot better than just a normal roller bandage. So also in this kit, I'm just going to pop this aside. So there's two of these bandages. So don't worry if you get it wrong. There's a second size. That one's actually the bigger one. It's exactly the same thing. So you've got two in your kit, and you also have two tourniquets. There's also a set of gloves in there as well. And a set of scissors as well. Yeah. So these things, these tourniquets are brilliant. If you're putting one tourniquet on, plan to put a second one on as well. The
Can I
idea
ask
of it.
why the second one? Why would you plan to?
Yep, I have it all for you. All right. So the theory behind tourniquets is that you want to clamp your vessel around a long bone, a single long bone. So you have a single long bone here, two bones. You have a single long bone here, two bones. Okay. So where there's two bones, the vessel could be going between them, and so therefore you might not get a lot of pressure. Okay? But that also being said, imagine if you got bitten on your foot, you don't necessarily want to be amputated above the knee. Yeah? So we're actually going to try to go low to start with. But if you go low and it doesn't work, then you keep going high.
Okay.
Remembering that this injury is happening out there, and it's you only got 6 litres of blood for a big bloke, and we can lose a lot between there and here. So if you're getting here and you're still losing a lot of blood, we really need to get this under control really quickly. For shits and giggles, I'm going to just put the tourniquet on here, the toe. So basically, you can come up. This tourniquet has a little clip on this side that ring goes into, like that. So you can have it dressed like that, ready to go. You can have it undone, doesn't really matter. It just goes over the top like that. Okay, once it's there, pull. And that's our first adjustment. And then the second bit is twist, twist, twist. And as I'm twisting, that's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. You can see it starting to really tense on Tone's skin. And then you pop it in like that. That's a third little safety. And once you've done that, you need to get a texter and write on his forehead T and the time. And the time's in 24-hour time. Okay? So all of those who went to school and didn't work out the 24-hour time, go back to school and learn and then come back and see.
I've had to learn.
Yeah. But it's got to be your 24-hour time.
Yeah, that's good.
Because
So it's now 13, 32.
yeah,
So you write that on their forehead.
T,
13,
T,
13,
why the T? What's the T?
the
tourniquet.
tourniquet.
Oh, T for
T for
tourniquet.
tourniquet.
And then if you get to your second one, T2.
T2 and then put that on as well. That's reasonably important because as a first aid group, we are not going to take tourniquets off, but I might.
Yes.
as a paramedic. As the hospital, when they get there, they might.
Yes.
Okay? So we just want to know how long it's been on there. Before we take that off, we might want to put in a heap of other medications before we go. So, yeah, and that's more about the limb saving. And we only think about limb saving after we've sure we've done life saving.
That's right.
So, but we really want that T on there just so that we know we've got a really good indication. Don't think by any stretch of the imagination that you will remember, because you won't. Your brain width, if you're putting this on, your brain span, your bandwidth is going to be way gone, and you'll be full of adrenaline, and you won't remember a thing afterwards, like the little details. So just write as much down as you can. Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
So this is now all training stuff because it's been opened.
Yes.
With regards to, now, jump onto YouTube, and this one's an Elias bandage. It's spelt O-E-L-A-S, I think. O-L-A-E-S. If you get onto YouTube, there's heaps of military videos of those things going on, so have a bit of a look. And tourniquets as well, just have a bit of a look and just see them, be familiar with them, because when you actually have to do it, you want it to be second nature. Any questions?
Let's go.
Hey, righto, play.
Let's believe.
Play time.
We've got one of those two in the kit in here as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So in this, so you want to open this